so excited to be here.
You're a big fan.
Every day, all day, every day. Listen, all day, man.
So you even know guys like Ronnie?
I know who you are, dude. Put it that way. Yeah, when Ronnie came to let me in, I was like, Ronnie, limo driver. Yeah, I mean, and this is. Am I going in here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is crazy. This is the absolute pinnacle of my career. I can't believe I'm here right now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I asked for, like in my movie contract, is like as far as like just a personal thing, is a car that has Sirius XM, so in between takes I can listen to Howard.
That's awesome.
And I have it on set, so I literally run. When they yell cut, I go in the car and listen to Howard, and no one.
And you just catch the replay at different points throughout.
And I
the
just
day.
hear different chunks of the show, and I'll listen to like the intern show and all the like the after show and everything, like the fan roundtable and everything like that.
So you even go to like Howard 101 and
you're
all over that.
I'm like, I'm a true Howard enthusiast. Yeah.
That's really cool.
And everybody, I mean, I just like, I don't know, it's like hanging out with a group of really funny people, but you don't have to contribute at all to the conversation.
Right.
You know?
It's like hearing your friends get ripped on, but you don't have to do the ripping yourself.
Yeah, or no one's making fun of you except for, I guess, today maybe, if I go in there.
No, I think Howard digs you, man.
Oh, man.
I definitely think it's mutual.
This is really, really exciting. Out of all the shit I've ever done, this is my favorite. I mean, this is like the thing I woke up excited, like, let's go. I'm so excited. I mean, it's like, it's real early.
For you, it's probably like 4 a.m.
So. Yeah, I'm from LA. Yeah,
right.
So it's early, but we've actually been traveling around the country and stuff. But yeah, dude, this is crazy. This is so bananas. Like, I can't believe I'm here.
Well, we're psyched to have you too, man.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah.
So Moneyball's the new movie.
Yeah.
But I imagine you know the show so well. You're not going to just talk about Moneyball. You're going to talk about your life, Brad Pitt, everything, the whole deal.
I imagine it's going to be a lot of stuff that does not have to do with me promoting a movie. But that's cool. That's why you come on this show. You don't come on and do some boring standard interview, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll see you in a minute.
Brad, thanks a lot.
All right, Jonah Hill just got here, so I'm going to go in and prep Howard. He's got some wild stories. Dustin Hoffman's the one that discovered him. He used to do these poetry readings, like kind of tooling on poetry readings at this bar in the village, and Dustin Hoffman saw him and put him in a movie.
I think he was friends with Dustin Hoffman's kid.
Kids, right? Mm-hmm. He's passed on some great movies. I know when Seth Rogen was here, he said he passed on a role in Transformers. Mm-hmm. He helped write Bruno. His father was the tour accountant and business manager of Guns N' Roses, and his brother manages Maroon 5 now. He doesn't like Perez Hilton because he makes fun of him.
Okay.
That's it.
Real quick, let's hear from John Lieberman, and then we'll talk to Jonah Hill, who's in a new movie with Brad Pitt. Let's go to John Lieberman.
Brad Pitt's not coming?
No, Brad Pitt wasn't available. Jonah is, though. Don't tell me you're disappointed.
Well.
John Lieberman was hired.
Jonah's coming in, not John Lieberman.
All right, no John Lieberman. All right,
yeah,
come on in, Jonah. I called. That's all right, Gary. You're right on top of things as usual. Hey, man. Look at the new you.
Yeah, look at you. Where are you?
Look at you, man.
Hi there.
Hey, Robin, what's up? George Takei's here today. This is
Takei.
What's up, Takei? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh man, this is really great.
You got me my
really
worst.
great.
I got a neck pain. I can hardly move my head.
Would you like a massage?
Yeah, can you fix it? I mean, do you know anything about that?
I went to massage therapy school for
Did
quite
you?
No, I did not.
Oh. It's a good story, though.
It would have been. I would have been able to help you.
So, you know, this is weird. I was reading notes on you, and I think you've had a pretty spectacular career so far. How old are you now?
27.
27, and you got discovered by Dustin Hoffman?
Yes, that is correct.
That's pretty amazing. Like, you went to a poetry reading, which you'd think would be pretty lame and no one would discover you, but you went up.
You do poetry.
Well, it's a little more complex. I do not do poetry, no.
Well, you're a writer.
I'm a writer, yeah. I came up as a writer, and I started learning how to be an actor because I was, like, very bad at talking to actors.
Right.
And so they said, you should take an acting class to learn how to speak to actors.
Right.
So, and that's where I loved I fell in love with acting through taking that class to become a better writer and actor. And it's not as simple as like I walked in the bar and Dustin Hoffman was there like having a glass of brandy and was like, "You kid, get out to L.A." Like,
well, Dustin Hoffman was there because Dustin Hoffman's kids.
I'm friends with his kids.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he saw you performing poetry at the poetry read.
Well, they saw that, and that's how they thought I was really funny. But what I did for him was actually way funnier. Was I used to make these prank phone calls.
Yeah.
And he used to have me make these prank phone calls for him and call like
Oh,
other
really?
famous people and stuff like that.
Like, who did you call?
We called this one guy who owned all these hotels, like some super rich dude, and I pretended to be another guy who owned hotels and started talking shit to him. And he loved it. He thought it was so funny, so I made him this CD.
Where would you do this? Would you do this at Dustin's apartment? They make the funny phone calls, or would you do them?
Yeah, their house. Their family's like phenomenal.
So you would go over to Dustin's house. He'd say, "Hey, Jonah, I love your phony phone calls."
You go, call this person, call this person.
And he'd sit there.
I'd go in the other room. They'd all
Right.
be in speaker in another room, and I'd be by myself. And prank phone calls, everyone jokes around. You guys, I've heard.
We love them.
But to me, it's the best improvisational exercise you could ever have. It's the most you could ever be in character. It sounds silly,
Right.
but you really are playing a character, and you really are thinking on your toes more than you ever would in a scene.
Right. It's just amazing to me that Dustin Hoffman had a list of people he wanted you to do this to. And would they be vicious?
Is Dustin bored?
Would they be
Well,
vicious
I'll
phone
tell you
calls?
a really funny story,
All
man.
right.
And this is funny because now I'm friends with Tobey Maguire.
Right. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Right.
He's a really cool guy. Know him
Right.
but I obviously didn't know him when I was like
Right.
starting out, and he was this big famous guy. So my biggest prank phone call I used to do that he used to Dustin loved, everyone, all my friends really loved was, and this was before Crank Yankers, so
Right.
I think they did something similar. Not that they ripped off some 17-year-old kid that they
Right.
never met.
Just
but
a coincidence.
It was just a coincidence.
Right.
But the idea was you call and pretend to be a celebrity's assistant.
Right.
Okay? And to me, this is the funniest fucking thing you could ever do because people are nuts and all they want to do is please celebrities. They don't care about
Absolutely.
anything in the entire world. So during Oscar season is when all the celebrities rush to LA and all the hotels are booked up. So I called this like really small hotel that would never have a celebrity, like a Roach Motel in Santa Monica. And I tell them Tobey Maguire's assistant. I'm 17 years old and I recorded. I have the recording and everything.
Right.
And so
You
I'm
had
like,
the gift of gab, and also you had the ability to speak like an adult, right? Because that's how you have to pull these things off.
yeah, you
Right.
have to sound like you know what you're talking about. And
Right.
that was originally how I knew I wanted to be a writer because like people were like, man, that's funny. You can call the Domino's guy and keep him on the phone for 45 minutes
And make
like,
it interesting.
and make a character,
Right.
So I call and pretend to be Toby's assistant, and I go, hey, I'm an assistant to a pretty big celebrity, and it's Oscar season. Everywhere's booked. We can't get anywhere. Toby would love to. He's chosen your hotel,
Right.
And the guy, it's also like midnight on like a Tuesday, and the guy behind the counter is like, "That's crazy. Okay, yes, that sounds great." And I'm like, "Whoa, slow down. Toby has some requests, okay?"
Right.
And he's like, "Well, like what?" And I'm like, first of all, he needs like a pretty large-sized aquatic tank assembled within the room." And the guy's like, "Okay." And he's like, "Why?" And basically, kept on for 50 minutes and basically explained that Toby travels around with a baby seal everywhere. And the guy's like, and I'm like, "What about the irrigation tubes? Like, how can we empty out the valves and everything?" And the guy's like, "I mean, we've never had a seal here before, but whatever Toby wants." And then it evolved, and me being dumb and 17 evolved to like, Toby likes to take jogs at like really late at night with like a pack of young children following him, like the Pied Piper, and so the guy's like, "Sure, whatever you want." And the funny part is, a guy I know at that time played it for Toby, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And now we're friends, so it's all good. But
So Toby was pissed because now it's his name out there with you going around doing this shit, right?
Somebody thinks he likes to run with children.
Some idiot 17-year-old.
Yeah, but now he's
Dustin would
hilarious.
hear these, so you would be doing these in his home, and Dustin would sit there and be entertained by you for hours. I mean, and it's the great Dustin Hoffman, so you
Yeah,
probably.
but I don't want to sound opportunistic. That's kind of my fear is like when you tell the story, it's like I truly am like great friends with his kids. I
Right.
was with
You
one of
grew
them
up with
last
them.
night. I grew up with them, so it's like it wasn't opportunistic in any way. I was just
Right.
hanging out with them, and the parents are great, and they were around, so they were like,
And you probably
do this
got
funny thing, like make us laugh.
Like
you
I
know?
used to make phony phone calls, and my father, if he caught us, he would just beat the shit out of me. Like he was not going to be
You're playing
entertained.
with
Oh,
the phone?
I got in quite a bit of trouble. Yeah, it wasn't like.
Because I can't imagine, like Dustin Hoffman was so cool. He was like, "Hey, yeah, I want to hear you guys making funny phone calls." You know, I used to make phony phone calls for a living, doing them on the radio. And then when I caught my kids making phony phone calls, I didn't know whether to yell at them or praise them.
It's pretty hard to ground him.
Yeah, they were. It was crazy. I think one time they like called Dial a Mattress. I go, "That's my sponsor. You can't do
What if
that."
they found out Howard Stern's children?
So like I'm yelling at them for something I do on the radio. So it was kind of confusing. So how does that work into a job? So Dustin Hoffman thinks you're a killer. You're great.
Yeah, he just goes. He's like, you should pursue acting,
Wow.
and I'm like, you know, I wanted to write